Hey guys, Amy from Colorado Mountain Living. This weekend we are working on prepping the steel beams for our railings. And we are kind of battling the weather today. First of all, it's super windy. There's probably going to be a lot of wind gusts in this video because it is just whipping today. We're getting 20-mile-an-hour gusts on a regular basis because tomorrow we are expecting a giant snowstorm. Wow, I'm sure you're excited for us. We just melted all the snow, finally. Last week we had nice weather. Almost all the snow patches are gone, but we are getting maybe up to a foot of snow tomorrow. We'll keep you posted on that, and at least we'll be in the spirit for Game of Thrones tonight. But anyway, so let me show you a little bit about the steel beams, okay? So this is what they look like. Bryan got a trailer full of them last week. And these are actually steel beams that line the bottoms of tractor-trailer trucks. And then they've got the wood in between. So that's where these are coming from. So the idea, these are I-beams. And what we're going to be doing, Bryan's cutting them to length. And I forget how tall that is, but he cuts them to length. And then we're going to refinish them and paint them black. And he's also... one thing that he has to do when he cuts them is he's got to weld on another piece so we can attach the railing to the tops. So these will be bolted to the floor, and then the tops will be bolted to the railing. So definitely a few steps involved, especially the refinishing, and Bryan's getting to try out his new welder. So first step of working with the beams is to give them a really good cleaning. They just came from a stock pile place, so Bryan's cleaning them with our pressure washer to get off all extra dirt and loose paint and rust and things like that. It's just the initial once over so he can start really cutting them and working with them. So the next step in the process is cutting the beams to length. Bryan is using our metal cutting saw, the Hitachi saw that's got a metal cutting blade on it, and he's cutting to 38 inches, and then on top of the 38 we'll have about a 2-inch thick railing on the top of the posts. So the steel beams are our posts, and in between the beams we'll be having cable running through that. That'll be a different video. We're just prepping the beams this weekend. So the saw does a pretty good job. Look up close here. We're getting really nice cut. Nice flush cut, and it only takes, 30 seconds or so, not even, to get through these 8-inch thick steel beams. So he's making some pretty good time. He's cutting about 14 of them. We need 9 of them upstairs to do the full length of the loft, and then we need 5 additional ones to go around the stairwell on the first floor. The other thing we're making good use of is the steel angle iron that came with our plow. So our plow is packaged in this cage of angle iron. So we're going to be cutting it up and using these angle iron pieces as trim to go over the edges of the flooring around the stairwell. That'll cover the gaps around the boards of the floor on the stairwell. So we're going to prep those as well as the I-beams. That one looks like it cuts easier than those beams.
Should, but I gotta put a block in there.
First piece. Well, and after using the saw, Bryan gave it a try with his cutting wheel on his grinder and found, because the thickness of the cutting wheel is a little bit thinner, it actually did a faster job cutting through the iron, the angle iron, than using the saw did. So he just did the rest of this thinner steel using the cutting wheel, because it probably only took about 5 to 10 seconds per side here. So do we need just like 3-inch pieces? to weld onto here, so that way we have a way to bolt our railing to the top of these I-beams.
3 5/8.
3 and 5. So we'll take our scrap pieces, the shorter ones, and then we're going to cut them up into little pieces so we can bolt onto here, and that way we have something to bolt our railing to, because you can't really bolt onto this surface. There we go, welded on. Sweet. So I mentioned to you guys about the weather being really iffy this weekend. Well, look what happened, as soon as we start working and get going on our projects, it really affects things. So, of course, we had to pack up everything, and Bryan loaded up all the steel beams on the tractor, and we brought them inside so they wouldn't get soaking wet. You can't do any kind of welding in the rain, and that's our next step. So we've got to move the beams inside for now and see if the weather clears out. It didn't look like it was supposed to rain all day, but we'll see what's going to happen. Looks pretty bad. What are you reading?
MIG welding.
Uh-huh.
101.
MIG welding 101. Mm-hmm. Did you put it together?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it outside to feed the wire through. You have to plug it in. It's like motorized.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're welding with the wire,
Mm-hmm.
the wire is what your
Yeah.
rod. So and the current flows through it, so to melt it. No, I am the father.
Not funny anymore. So when we hired our electrician, we had her put a specialty outlet on the outside of the house that would help accommodate the outlet needed for the MIG welder. And I forget what that's called. You guys probably know, but it's just a special kind of configuration. Maybe it's 220 or something like that. But it's a special outlet that you need, different kind of plug for your high voltage machinery like this MIG welder. And this is just a very temporary setup. Bryan's got it on the concrete pad that he's gonna build out later, and he's got a cement board here just to kind of practice a little bit of welding. But this is not the permanent space, but right now it is because it's so windy outside. There's just like no other place to set up and do some welding today. So we're gonna see how it goes. So kind of tricky to see what you're doing with the helmet on. Bryan thinks he might adjust a little bit the opaqueness of the vision screen, but kind of got the hang of it. As long as the ground is really well connected without a lot of rust, and he's just playing around to get a sense of the weld to see if you can get a good flow. But just trying to get the hang of it. He did several practice pieces while I went out and got groceries, and I came back and he had gotten quite a bit done, actually. It's a work of art.
Well, I couldn't see.
Yeah.
I had it too dark with my glasses.
Yeah, I can't see through this and the camera at the same time.
Not very good job, but it stuck together.
Yeah. Wait, it's not bending though at all?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
It looked like it was starting to bend.
just a little.
Oh, yeah, you only have it like 2 spots.
Yeah, it's like a tack weld.
Okay.
So this must just be too rusty.
Too rusty?
I'll get the grinder and grind it a little bit. You can use the wire brush on there
Okay.
to get this part.
Okay.
It'll do a good enough job, I think.
Uh-huh.
And you
Okay. Get the texture off.
yeah, just get the really rough,
Stuff that could flake, maybe.
yeah, rust.
So the next step after sanding off all the loose rust, dust, is to prime it. And I'm going to take these outside. It's so windy out that they'll probably dry in like 5 minutes. So I'm going to see if I can get this done before the weather gets any worse. Well, the weather got worse, guys. This is probably the third time today that a huge cloud system blew in and started raining and snowing on top of all the wind. So we had to move everything back inside again. And it's just a little bit exhausting work to constantly battle the elements like this when you're working outside. And it pretty much cuts your day short. But you can see the wind here. You can see how gusty it is. It's just really something you can't work through when you're trying to do welding and painting and things like that. So got to bring everything back inside. All right, folks, this is about as far as we got today. And I hate it when we can't get to the end of a video and show you the finished product. But anyway, the stage that we're at is we brought in the steel beams. Bryan set them all up on sawhorses so that they are ready to paint and prime. We're using the Rust-Oleum paint as a primer because it helps bind to the rust. Because there is still some residual rust, even though we grinded and sanded off all of the loose rust from the beams. But we are expecting our winter storm to arrive tonight anytime, even though there is some blue sky out there right now. Don't trust it. It's been going in and out all day with some really wicked snow and hail and sleet and rain combinations at least 4 times already today. And we know the next time it comes, it's not leaving. So we are getting ready for a really big winter storm, and we'll keep you posted on that. You know, could be a foot of snow, could be more than that, could be 2 feet. But we're going to have plenty to do to keep us busy. We're going to be painting and priming our steel beams and getting those ready to start making our railings. But thanks, guys, for joining us. And actually stay tuned because we want to show you who showed up during the storm earlier today. We had a big deluge of sleety snow, and someone showed up near the beehives to check out the green grass. So be sure to check that one out. But anyways, guys, we'll keep you posted on the railing progress with the beams and the snowstorm. Catch you later. Bye-bye. It's gone way bad. Look at this. What's it? Wait a second. There's a moose. Hey!
Found some green grass.
Found some green grass by the beehive in a snowstorm.
What'd you say? It's going to start snowing at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, that's what the weather said. Holy crap. Vigo, you don't even see the moose outside. Kind of interesting to watch him chew up all the grass, but if he gets too close to that fence, he's going to get a shock of his life. Where'd he come from? It's electrified, and I'm pretty sure it's on full power. The big moose.
You're going to get shocky.
Oh, Vigo, you're going to see it now. There's a big moose outside. Yeah.
Okay. I know. Okay. Don't even touch my mouth.
Oh, he got shocked. Well, he's running off.
Hey, get off the sofa, you blockhead.
Okay, you did your job. He ran away. He's all done now. He's all done.
Don't get on that sofa.
Here you go. He's gone. He's all done. No more moose. I know, we saw the moose. He's all done. Okay? Okay, he's all done. No, you don't see it. Get what? Oh, Pico.